Hey guys, what's up? Here is a long, like maybe 3 hour plus, not even interview with The Long Walk director Mattie Do, but sort of just a 3 hour plus hang with director Mattie Do. Again, she's the director from The Long Walk. The Long Walk I just recently received. I'm one of the last of the crew to actually receive the Blu-ray to The Long Walk. It's available via Vinegar Syndrome. Now, just a very quick intro before you can get into this video is actually split into 5 parts, and hopefully by the end of this intro and by the end of the day you'll have all 5 videos up on the channel and you can actually listen to it. The best way to actually enjoy this video is to actually make the drink, Mattie Do's drink, which can be found actually in the special features of the essay. It's a drink called The Long Sip. It's featured towards the last page of the booklet essay provided by, it's written by, I don't even know how to pronounce the name, Shella Rowan Legg. I'm mispronouncing it, but I just got the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray, and I don't know what other. There's a theatrical trailer, deleted scenes, which I can't wait to watch. Also, there's commentary from the cast and crew, and I just really love this movie so much. Also, most importantly, the people who joined Mattie Do for The Long Sip, we're calling it, actually the drink is called The Long Sip, so the video will be called The Long Sip Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, Part 5. Joining her are my Find Your Film co-hosts, Eric Holmes and Bruce Purkey, and also Movie Bears podcast co-host and personal friend of Mattie Do, William Lindus. And actually, just a little bit of a preamble, even more, to make a long story even longer, but about a year and a half ago, William Lindus went on our Cinematics Facebook page and he recommended Mattie Do's The Long Walk for us to see. And, well, we recently saw it a couple months ago. All of us really got obsessed with that film. And since then, Eric and Bruce have seen all of Mattie Do's work. Also, a very big part of her collaboration, a big part of her journey is her husband, Christopher Larson. He is the screenwriter behind The Long Walk as well. This is a movie that I think is just a very special movie, and you can really enjoy it on a pure horror sci-fi time travel experience, or like me, you can actually appreciate that on that level, which is great, very multi-layered. But there's also an extra level of resonance about family and identity and regret. Just really good stuff. You can get into the emotional layerings of The Long Walk as well. It's just a very interesting and mature work from Mattie Do and screenwriter Christopher Larson. So yeah, this interview, this 3 hour plus epic kind of long sip, is just basically has Do and Lindus and Bruce Purkey and Eric Holmes. They're pretty much day drinking for 3 hours and just hanging out and talking. So I would suggest maybe check out the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray, purchase it, get The Long Sip, make your drink or whatever drink, and drink along to this video as well and enjoy Mattie Do talking about her life and her journey as a person and as a filmmaker. To tell you the truth, I'm uploading the first couple videos right now after this intro is done, and then I still haven't seen the last hour and a half of the interview. It's pretty epic as far as just learning about her dream project of hers, just how she actually came into filmmaking, which is just completely a different way than most people come into it. Just very fascinating regarding her life in ballet as well. So just some really good stuff. And also, Mattie Do is just a very interesting person, very gregarious, very social, and just pretty much the life of the party. And you'll be able to see that in this long sip thing. And I apologize for the long intro. If you have not, these videos are best seen or best experienced if you've actually seen some of Do's work, especially her latest film, The Long Walk, which you can get it via Vinegar Syndrome as a Blu-ray, or it's streaming in various outlets and digital and whatnot. I'll put a link of where you can actually get The Long Walk. So try to actually see this movie at least. You don't even have to make the drink. Maybe you can even have a non-alcoholic beverage while you're sipping along with my co-hosts and William Lindus and Mattie Do. But bottom line is, I think it would behoove you to check out The Long Walk as well, to have seen The Long Walk before listening and hanging out with these interviews, or just getting to know a little bit of Do's work before you start sipping on these long sip videos. All right, I'm babbling enough. Hopefully you enjoy them. Leave a comment, subscribe, like our Cinematics YouTube channel. And thanks to Eric Holmes for that was his idea to organize the whole thing. And thanks to William Lindus for hyping us or whatever, just introducing us to the work of the wonderful filmmaker Mattie Do. Check it out. Apologies for the long-winded intro. Here is part 1 of The Long Sip. I'm not going to do intros for all 5, which is a good thing for you guys. But anyways, here we go. The Long Sip journey begins. Bye.
เจ้าไปเบิ่งอันหนึ่งจนเจ้าอยากมากับข่อยก็มาเด้อตรงย่านผมมีไม่เคยมาดอกนี่มันคักเด้เจ้าอยากเลยเอาศพเจ้ามาฝังนี่บ่คิดจะดีเลย
เป็นอย่างข่อยเห็นเราคือกันเราอาจจะให้พวกเรา2 คนมาพอกัน
มันเป็นอันนี้เดี๋ยวนี้มีหายสาบสูญไปบุกรู้จักว่าเราไปทางใด
พวกเจ้ามาหาข่อย
เดี๋ยวนี้พวกเราฮู้แล้วว่าเราตาย
ก็เห็นลูกย่างไปกับผู้หญิงคนหนึ่งแต่พอเวลากับเจ้าเข้ามาใกล้แล้วผู้หญิงคนนั้นก็หายตัวไปแม่ต้องการซอกหาลูกของแม่
ข่อยอยู่หันตอนเราตาย
ข่อยก็อยู่หันตอนเราตายเมื่อ50 ปีก่อน
เท่านั้นว่าเจ้าตายมา50 ปีแล้วแต่ตอนข่อยพ่อเจ้ายังมีชีวิตอยู่นะเจ้าตายได้ยังอยู่นี่
บางคนเจ็บปวดหลายคนก็สวยเข้าไปแบบบ่ทรมานเวลาเฮาเฒ่าถ้าว่ามีเด็กน้อยมาต้องการให้เฮาสวยเจ้าก็สอนเขาแบบนี้อันนี้แม่นวิธีสวยพวกเขาเจ้าเข้าใจบ่
Hi. So, what will y'all be drinking today?
So you guys are supposed to be drinking my drink, which
I got that right here.
There you go, and it's already changed color. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I put it in the because I got the I was having trouble finding the flower, the butterfly pea flower, and so I ordered the dried flower tea online. And so
yes, the tea is basically just a dried flower.
Yeah,
the same.
But I wasn't able to put like the fresh flower on top to make it look extra pretty. I tried it with like the dried tea, and it just looked like a lump of thing floating.
Yeah, it was like all dried and desiccated. Did you get some, William?
I did, although I didn't make mine for this morning because I'm just chugging water to get started.
Day drinking.
Yeah. But I did. That was my last night cocktail, and the color changing on it is amazing. I took a picture, and I should have steeped it. Like I didn't infuse the vodka long enough, so it didn't come out as rich as it should have. But that was like I don't know how well that shows up. That was the before, and then I added the citrus, and it added like that, so you can see like it just really spruced.
Wow,
up.
it really color changed yours because yours was not so dark. But if it's too dark, if it's like a deep indigo purple, it's hard to see the color change too. So like yours is a very drastic color change. I think Eric got it right. Eric got it just about right.
Yeah, it was.
I'm having like the most non-cocktail cocktail ever because I don't make cocktails. I don't know how to make cocktails, and I don't normally drink cocktails. This cocktail is my favorite just because I love it, and it's also kind of basic too, right? It's like hard vodka and like a sweetener and some chili.
I mean, that's kind of what this is. It's just vodka
and
the simple sugar. I was having trouble finding simple sugar. I didn't know what that meant, and I looked it up online. It was like water and sugar. I can do
into a syrup form, right? I've never made it too, so I would have had to Google that because I really wasn't sure. In America, I thought they sold like those pumps.
They do, and it is a lifesaver at your local cocktail bar because I know all it is sugar water boil store, right?
But it's difficult, to get into that syrupy consistency.
I don't have the time for that, so I just bought a little bottle of it, and when it was time for that step, it just splashed it right in. No, but it was fun to make too, because it's just like it has.
I just have whiskey.
Oh god, love a good blend.
I'll mix it with soda so it feels like I have a cocktail, right? It's diluted.
That's usually one of my go-tos is just like a Glenlivet on the rocks type thing, like it's very, I guess that's not a cocktail, that's just that's just booze, but whatever.
Yeah, it's just booze.
Yeah.
But this cocktail is just fun just because you can like imagine yourself doing the whole like fancy barman thing with a shaker, right? You can like do the whole shaker thing. I don't even own a shaker either. Like my husband was like, how are you going to make that? You don't even own a shaker. Like, I was like, I could stir it up and like strain it through a sieve. I don't know.
I'd probably use like a coffee filter. That might work. You wouldn't get any of the pulp in
That
it.
would get really messy, the coffee filter. I don't know.
I have one of those little shakers. I don't, most of the time when I do make a cocktail, it really is just like, liquor and soda or something like that, or liquor and juice. So I don't get a chance to use it very often. So I was really happy to like get that down. And I really loved between the chili and the peppercorn in it. Like,
it gives it a kick, doesn't it?
It
Isn't
does.
it nice?
I was
like a little tingle in your throat. It's super great.
And when you look at the ingredient list, at the end of the day, aside from like the spices on it, it's really just like infused alcohol, infused vodka, plus simple syrup, plus lime juice. But which should be really basic, but the color changing to it and the little kick and the spice on it, it really feels like I felt like, oh, I made a sophisticated cocktail tonight.
Yes, and it's exotic because it's so like. It's super exotic with we call it in our language ansan, the flower. In Thailand it's called anchan, I think. And it's like for us, we'll just dry it and drink it as tea. It's kind of like a chamomile tea as well. Mm-hmm. So like it can relax you, it can de-stress you. Which then I thought was like kind of perfect for the old man, right? Because the old man is giving them this like, oh, take a little chill pill filled with drugs, have a little tea, relax, and I Mickey'd it.
Even finding the tea, like it took me a moment. I went to, we have this huge, like Whole Foods equivalent here in Austin, and just giant row of all of these different teas, and I found. It wasn't able to find it right away. And they had a section that's like beauty and wellness teas. And because they had the butterfly pea flower tea was apparently has like collagen infusing stuff with it. So it's like, it was in like the rejuvenate your skin with this. And when I found that, I was like, oh, thank goodness I found it. And
what? It's also good for beauty. I didn't even know that.
So.
That's Asian. Like that shit's growing all over my front gate right now. Literally, when I was talking to Greg about it, I was just like, oh, I really thought I was going to try and make it before I just realized that it's futile for someone like me to try and make a cocktail. And I was like, maybe I can dry some flowers in time for this conversation, but it's been raining. It's like literally, it's a crawler. So it's like crawling and creeping up my gate right now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's a weed. You find it everywhere naturally. I don't even know how much whiskey goes into a whiskey and soda. So like.
You fill it up however much you want, just kind of throw a splash on it.
Yeah.
As little soda water as possible.
I always find the great news about whiskey and club soda is like you can just sort of adjust as you go along. Like, I want a little bit more. Oh, I want a little less.
The ice starts to dilute it, and then you kind of feel like there's always this moment where it's a perfect one, right? Yeah. And then as the ice melts or as people are like topping you up, then it's like not perfect anymore. But because I'm not a cocktail person, I don't know what that is, but I like whiskey fine. So
if you still have any of your simple syrup, one of my favorite, like just quick and dirty cocktails is just Scotch whiskey with a little bit of club soda or tonic water, some simple syrup, and a splash of lime. Just because it's just like the things that I have at my bar, my little section where I keep all my liquor in the house.
I like that you and Scott have like a whole setup in your house.
Setup, cocktail glasses. And
I gotta come over. I have to come
yes,
visit.
Yes.
Like bar. You have the shaker thing. Oh my God.
I have the little shaker. I've got one of those little like bar tool things that has like a little like a peeler and a jigger and just all of that in one little like spot, and then I never use it, when it's time to get her up a drink, it's just like, I'll just grab a beer or whatever,
See, and then you guys made the long drink, so
it was so much fun to do that last night. I actually was rewatching because I got the Blu-ray came in.
You got the actual. You both have that real physical drink. I'm so happy.
Oh yeah. And
that's what inspired the whole thing. We're like, we need to get together, talk about the special features and enjoy a drink together.
Yes. and it feels nice because like, even though I haven't met you in person, Eric, like I do miss William because it used to be like, it was one of those things, you know, I get to go to Fantastic Fest for work and then I get to see all of my old friends again too.
Yes, yeah, and it was always nice too because Mattie was first there in, was it 2013?
2013?
2012, somewhere in that range.
Back in the day, yeah.
Back in the day, and you had your first film there, and I remember it went over very well at the festival too. You know, everyone, you know, enjoyed it.
I was so confused. Remember, I'd never been to a film festival before, and I was just like, "What is going on here?" And thank God it was Fantastic Fest. I can't even imagine if I went to like a really, I don't know what you call like a regular festival, like a drama type festival, where people are kind of snobby and like cinephile film experts. Because not only did I not ever know what film fests were, and I had never really been to one, I didn't know fuck all about film and like cinema culture. And so like people like William and Edward and all these people that I know, Antonio, all of them were just like, they just like kind of drew me into the flock and just treated me like, you know, just anyone off the street. It was really awesome because then I didn't feel so uncomfortable and I didn't feel like people were trying to like out film me or out snob my like film knowledge, which I had none. They was like, would you like a hot dog and a beer?
Just come on. Well, I remember that first QA you did too was, you know, you really commanded the room when you were
I was nervous with Todd. You know, I was really nervous.
You didn't show it because so Mattie, you were dressed to the nines. You went up there and you start telling a story about how Johnny Walker helped get the movie kind of like from point A to point B.
Whiskey upon whiskey, which you would think that whiskey is my drink of choice. It's my second drink of choice. Vodka is my drink of choice.
But then the other thing I appreciated so much, Mattie, is, you know, there's some filmmakers, and this is a very valid strategy, which is just to go to the film festival when you're promoting your film, but then you would come back in the in-between years too. You know, I saw you other times too.
The in-between years, I have to admit, was because they selected me to be jury, or I was involved in another way where like I was pitching a new project or had a different, because like, let's be straight, like I'm a starving artist. I live in a third world country. There's no ticket to America if I don't have business.
But you made it work too, you know?
Yeah, I made it work. And then I got to see my brothers in California, because if I'm already in Austin, then I could easily take one of those, what are they called? Like the budget flights?
Yeah.
Where they don't assign your seat. And I could hop over to California. And like the Fantastic Fest people were so nice. They didn't give a shit. They're just like, yeah, as long as you do the thing that you're supposed to be doing here, like, sure, we'll just make your exit date like super late and you can go to California, just be back in time for your ticket.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's so wonderful. Yeah, Eric, you're going to have to make it down for one of these at some point. I think you would really love Fantastic.
How much? What does it usually cost for like a film festival? Because I know we got in Colorado we got Telluride. I was thinking of going to one. I was like looking at that and was like hundreds of dollars. I'm like, oh no, I don't need to see Avengers early that bad.
I heard Fantastic Fest is pretty pricey too, but maybe it's because I've been in Laos in the developing country, so that marker seems pricey to me. But I don't know if that's normal for Americans or what.
So Fantastic Fest, I can tell you, as someone who's been doing it for goodness, about 10 years now. You know, they've done a really good job of like expanding the getting a few of like the higher profile, like, you know, opening films, closing night films, and then, but with that, you know, with the studios putting more into that, it does, you know, drive prices up a little bit. So yeah, it's become a spendier festival. The great thing,
they have high profile people who go there. It's like Taika Waititi goes, Nicolas Cage goes, Elijah Wood goes, like a lot of celebrities go.
Every year you'll see Elijah Wood and Leonard Maltin and Doug Benson, like those three, like every year. And then
Leonard Maltin, Gremlins 2's Leonard Maltin.
Yeah, he's always there actually. I didn't know who he was before, but he's just this really nice guy. And the thing about Fantastic Fest that I guess makes it super worth the price is like everybody just interacts. It's not like a regular film festival where they really corral you away from the professionals, and they don't let you like interact or speak or meet professionals. In this, it's like the professionals themselves can choose how much engagement they want or don't want, and it's like this unspoken rule. And as long as the audience understands that, like, oh, at this moment he's eating, don't go bug him, or he wants to be alone, don't go bug him, it works out really well. So there's like a really casual relationship with the filmmakers and the audience that I haven't really seen at other festivals, by the way. Not really.
It's like the sort of like unspoken, like, be cool, bro, like rule. But you're right. Like I've gone through, so it's at the Alamo Draft House, and there's this attached like bar area called the Highball. They like share a lobby, and so you can go. The Highball is great. And so in between movies, if you've got a little bit of time to kill, since you don't have to jump venues like at some festivals, you can just walk in there and grab a drink. So there's times where, going back to Malton, like I'll see Leonard Maltin, Doug Benson, and Elijah Wood all sitting at the bar having a conversation with each other and think this feels like a punchline, but it's just like, I don't know if you've watched some of the films from Benson and Moorhead, like Endless, Resolution.
Oh, and they're just out and about, like hanging out with everyone. And Keanu Reeves is also like really nice. He goes often when his film is there. Yeah, he's there too, and he's super down to earth as well. I noticed he's a quiet guy. Yeah, he's quiet. Like, he's not necessarily going out of his way to interact with people, but people who come up to him, he's very like gracious to them.
Seems like a super cool guy, just like genuine guy. That was
he let me use the bathroom before him once.
Really? Oh, that's awesome.
At the boxing match.
Oh, at the Fantastic Feud. Was that one? Oh my God! So that one, there's it's sort of like a debate where you pick a topic, like, is streaming ruining the theatrical experience? And two people will sort of debate both sides of it. And they're usually people from, like either from the festival community or from the industry itself. And then at the end of it, and it's at a boxing arena. And then after they've done then they put on gloves and they punch to finish up the duel.
Yeah. So you can win, like, it's 2 rounds, basically. Round 1 is a debate. So you can either win or lose a debate. And then round 2 is the physical fight. So even if you lost a debate, you can still punch the shit out of the person who beat you.
But I do recommend the festival experience to anyone. Eric, you mentioned, you've got Telluride there. And the nice thing about festivals is that it's a circuit, right? So there are festivals that are really, really big, and they're really, really expensive. And a lot of times they are, at a certain price point, they become much more for either, people who have a lot of money, or for like industry, or for getting that sort of like,
Fantastic Fest has a lot of activities for people. A lot.
It does.
Because a lot of those other expensive festivals, like, the activity is you go and watch movies.
Yeah.
And you can get as many tickets as you want with your badge, but you never get to like meet the filmmaker. You get to hear a Q&A, right? And you don't get to like have dinners with them. You don't get to like go to events and activities with them and see shows with them, and have a concert where they're in attendance with you. Like, that's the weird thing about Fantastic Fest, is for the price you're getting like a lot.
It is an 8-day like, even though it's in September, usually like summer camp, right? Like I would talk to some of my friends from Pacific Northeast, and it was always like, Pacific Northeast, from the Atlantic.
There he is.
Oh, yes.
It's because I told him about the electricity thing, I think.
No, he was running a bit behind.
I thought it was my electricity thing, you guys.
No, his family's
Oh.
It's like, what the fuck is this? Like, wow, a country of 6 million is going to turn off their electricity for an hour, as if that's going to make a dent in our like climate social awareness. Like, what about fucking India and China and America? Their population would actually make a dent when they turn off their electricity for an hour.
Maybe I'll turn my electricity off for an hour and support later today.
In support of Earth Hour.
Not now.
Hi, Bruce.
Hey, nice to meet you.
I think I see your mini-me back there.
Yes, he's hiding over here. He's like, why is Dad getting day drunk? What's going on here?
Courtesy of me, hi. I'm
drunk with vodka.
Well, I'm actually what is it called when the cool kids coerce everyone?
Oh,
Peer
peer pressure.
Peer
I'm peer
pressuring.
pressuring your father.
Say hi real quick.
Okay.
Little me.
I'm peer pressuring your father, and I apologize. When you grow up, don't fall for that shit, okay?
No, please peer pressure him. He needs it.
All right. See you later, kiddo.
As you can see outside my window, it is nighttime. It is a good time for whiskey.
Oh, yes.
So actually, it took me so long because I was, first of all, I don't have the flowers, but I was following exactly what he does at the beginning of the movie, and I started feeling really drowsy. So I'm not sure if I was doing it right.
You're only supposed to do one pill or
only
half a
one
pill.
pill. Yeah.
Well, half a pill or one pill.
Yeah.
And you
No
know
more
that,
than two.
You're like fucking ODing.
I did break a figurine, so I hope you're not mad at me. I suddenly got knocked on the ground. I can't find the arm. I don't know what happened to it.
Oh,
so
here it
it's-
is.
it's
No,
all
no,
good.
no, but that's gonna take care of itself soon. That's gonna take care of itself soon. Just go out on a walk one day in the backwoods, and someone who may look like an older version of yourself, they're gonna come. They're gonna be like, "Did you lose something?" And that's
The older
where it's
version of
gonna-
me, there's gonna be trouble. We're gonna be in trouble. Be like a zombie.
I mean, it's a sequel to the film.
Oh, I like that. Like the sequel involves like the older version being a zombie. Yeah.
Yeah,
Maddie,
like, he goes back as a revenant. Like his arm is missing too, but he's got that fucking figurine's arm.
Oh no.
You guys, cheers.
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 If you didn't know, I'm the weirdo mysteries or Motel of Mysteries guy. I'm that guy.
I was so happy that you figured out the name of the book because literally not long after you were like, is it Motel of Mysteries? My husband mentioned it, like not related to anything. I mean, he's not around when I'm doing my work interviews, right? When I'm doing press. And then all of a sudden he was like, hey, have you ever read this book called Motel of Mysteries? And I was just like, literally just spoke to like multiple journalists about it and also to people on Twitter about it. And I sound like a fucking psychopath talking about this book about excavating toilet seats and wearing them as headdresses. Like it makes very little sense when you're trying to describe it like that, you know? He's like, oh, I see you have read the book. But I was like younger than your son probably when I read it.
Yeah, I think that popped up around more my era. I feel like it popped up in late 70s, maybe early 80s. And it was in like, I think it might've made
Was
it
it
to
late
reader-
70s, really?
maybe early 80s at the latest, I think. And I remember
But I'm a
it-
child of the 80s, so that makes
Yeah.
sense that I would have. I mean, I remember getting it from the book orders, you guys. You remember Scholastic book orders?
Oh, I
yeah.
remember Scholastic.
I think we
I
had
used
book
to
it.
save coins for that shit because, like, I mean, I had a weird life. Like, we went through cycles of extreme poverty and extreme wealth, actually, in my family. We were like roller coastering because we were immigrants and my parents were really industrious. But even when we were wealthy, because my parents had made some like crazy business, even when we were wealthy, they still remember the hardships. You know what I mean? They still remember the hardships. So, like, to ask them to pay for these overpriced book orders because they were always more expensive than just walking into a fucking bookstore, right?
Right.
They were just like, no, you can't. But they didn't understand that when the orders came to your classroom and they were doling it out, it was like fucking Christmas, right?
It felt like I don't know if they still do this in schools, but they also did like Valentine's Day when you would like open the little thing at your desk with all the Valentines from the other students.
Yes.
It was the same thing. They would bring the little thing in and you'd go like, okay, I've got I don't have as much as that kid does, but I do have some of there. And there was
When
like
you made your little
bit-
construction paper basket to keep the Valentines in.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the Scholastic
And the
book felt
asshole
like
kid
that
that
too.
would pretend like he's about to put a Valentine in yours and be like, psych.
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 Yeah.
And I'd be like, fuck you.
Like,
I have lollipops and you're not getting one.
And every year it was a matter of like you'd go to the store and you'd find like it was always something like whatever like the pop culture thing was. Like I remember like, you know, at a certain age you give away like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle like Valentine's.
Gave out Ninja Turtles Valentines. I did because it was like the cool thing with their
Yeah.
cinnamon hearts. Those, what are they called? Red Hots?
Yeah.
Yes. And sometimes Reese's peanut butter hearts. My parents were weird about that. Okay. So like Scholastic book orders, waste of money. It was like what are you thinking? We're like fucking immigrants. No. But things like Valentine's or Halloween, it was like, we were the king size candy bar family. We were the name brand candy family because somehow my brothers and I had conned them into believing that this is how you fit into American culture. Like, if you want to be American, this is what you have to do. Like, the children are expecting Snickers, Mom. You're not American if you give them like whatever the fuck weird white rabbit candy.
Well, that's good too, because then you become like, hey, you got to go up to the house on the hill because they give out the king size Snickers. Yeah, like
the house that always smells like rice and has like shady ass meat hanging.
we always had the decent candy, but they were also scared of our house because we were always doing something that was a little too creepy. Like, I'd literally have
like
parents...
the over decorator, right? The over decorator.
Well, no, we didn't over decorate. We would just do something conceptual, like we'd have like a dummy with like a looped cassette. You get these looped cassettes you could use for like answering machine messages or something. And we'd have it inside the dummy on the porch, dead, with the the bowl in his hands, and that would be it. They could go, it wouldn't jump, it wouldn't do anything. But then, the next day that would be like,
one, though, you guys.
The parents would come back the next day to show that it wasn't scary anymore. That's how bad we were.
Oh, like, look, see, it's still there.
Yeah.
And it's not going to jump at you. But come on. Everybody hated the jumping guy on the porch with the candy, like on right there, right? And you knew that thing was going to lurch at you. Like,
it's like
those are the worst houses. I didn't give a shit if they had Snickers. I didn't.
We'd play last Halloween, we'd play like a spooky music until someone came to the door, and then we'd just have Alexa play fart noises. Kids love that. It's like, hey kids, you want some sweethearts?
You can voice control all of this, huh?
Oh yeah, we're living in the future.
You guys are living in the old man's timeline now.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my goodness.
Oh, by the way, Willem, here, owe you $5. Let me
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let me just scan. Let me just transit some extra cocktail mixing.
Dude, that'd actually be a really cool Halloween costume. Just just put a
little ink stamp.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's done.
You guys
I'm
totally
going to do that. All the kids are going to come by.
I would not call it appropriation.
All right.
Like, do the flip flops, do the like ripped old pants that were like for some reason cropped to like mid calf. Like, I don't know why we did that, but we were like, he's wearing cropped pants.
Yeah, I'm an old ass uncle. That's my regular dress anyway. So
yeah. He's got these fucking high waters, and I have them all here in my backyard, like in storage boxes. And I was like, why did me and the art department decide that he was like going to wear cropped pants all the time? And yeah, like, and to just do the stamp and then have the traditional man scarf tied around your waist, which by the way is a very convenient ethnic costume thing, because like I've been noticing since we did the film, like I did it just because it's really authentic and it's normal that village people will wear that. And then we all modern like city people have it, but we keep it more as like a souvenir now. Yeah. So we're not walking around with it wrapped around our waist, but if we go to the temple or we go to a special ceremony, they'll wear it across their shoulder like a sash, the men. And it's really nice. But it's hand-dyed, hand-woven cotton. But then when we were filming on set, I realized that this waist fabric was like super useful because he'd like wipe his hands on it all the time. And then when we were going into the woods and we had to machete some branches across, he'd just like stick his machete in that waistband and it would just like hang there like a scabbard, and
oh my goodness.
Or like if we need to carry like a bunch of oranges from set to like the shrine, he'd just like bundle them up in the sash and like it was like this hobo sack. And I was like, damn, that loud checkered cloth has like a lot of uses.
I wonder if there's like a little like book or handbook that's like 101 uses for your checkered hand cloth. Like,
well, women, because it's the checkered cloth is typically men's wear, but I've noticed like out like deep country, like women will have that cloth and they turn it into baby carriers. And there are like multiple ways that they can strap their baby on. That's like amazing. And so when I see like American women buying these like expensive ass baby carriers. I'm just like,
Right.
oh, you just need a loud checkered cloth. Like, bitch, please. Like all the ways you can carry your baby in a loud checkered cloth.
Yeah. No, I spent $150 on this at Baby Gap. No, you just need a cloth.
Yeah, you just need a fucking cotton cloth from Lao. But like they have a way that they can have the baby cradled, hanging like a backpack, hanging like a front pack. It's pretty nuts, like just the way they wrap it, and they just like fucking knot it, or have this like ring. Sometimes they have like a D ring kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like a super pennies way of carrying your fucking baby with a cotton cloth.